Good afternoon, passport holders. Today, February 21st, 2017, day 842 of the vlogs. And yes, I went to bed before midnight, which, as we know, is always a mistake. But when I'm tired, I'm tired. And unfortunately, the mistake held true. Woke up at 2 a.m. and was up until almost 6 a.m. So, all told, I was in bed about 9.5 hours. Slept only about 6 or so, 5.5. I wasn't feeling the best when I kind of got functional around 8:30. That stated, it's been a super productive morning. A bunch of channels that normally release content on Monday release content today. All things said and done, 5 shorties back to the VaynerMedia guys. Daily V166 was released super early because it was a single shot, 1 clip, 3-minute, 20-second episode. Got that done. 3 other channels, all their stuff is done. So as it stands right now, the last piece of content for this calendar day that's going to be released will be released in about 20 minutes when Clintus's episode goes live at 1 o'clock. So that clears the way for me to be able to handle Daily V162, which still has been hanging over my head. I've got just a final review on the back 15 minutes, so it shouldn't take me a ton of time to do on that one. And then obviously I've got this 100-minute BioGuard talk that's been in my queue for 9 days now that needs to get cleared. That stated, I also ran payroll for myself so I get paid on the 28th. A couple other things are starting to move and shake, and so I'm kind of excited with where everything is at, where things are going. With the extra time that I should have today, I'll probably play a little bit of Destiny, give myself a little bit of downtime in that respect, and I will start to apply for jobs. And once again, this is not because I'm trying to abandon my business or anything like that, but I want to get out of this apartment like nobody's business. And so the easiest way to do that in Arizona, far and away, is to simply have an offer letter from another job. Like that, like you don't even have to really go into the job. You need to have an offer letter, and they need to verify that they've extended an offer letter to you in order to get into an apartment. It is one of the weirdest things. It is just the way that it is, though, and so I'm kind of like making it work the best way that I know how in this situation. And so the easiest thing for me to do is to begin to apply for jobs now, hoping that I get one by the end of March. When I have to give notice on this place. So if I can get started on that process, or at least get further along, I'll give notice, which then gives me 60 days until the end of my lease, and then I really got to make this happen. So that's kind of the plan. I hope you guys are having a tremendous Tuesday. It's a short week for everyone in the work week world, and so I hope you're able to get everything done that you need to get done so that you can hang some wins on the board. But let's get this one started. Alright guys, 1500 at this point, and obviously I'm out of the house. One of the things that hasn't been picked back up since I got sick 2 weeks ago is the walking. So I haven't really been consistent on that. Actually, I haven't even gotten a single day at 15,000 steps or 8.5 miles during that time. So kind of one of those things where it's kind of something I need to get back into, and I acknowledge that. But where are we at? Well, Daily V162 got finished, shipped back to the team. That's all good to go. They have not put anything else into the queue since 11 o'clock this morning, so I'm suspecting that we're kind of done for the day since it is 5 o'clock out there. I know they work until 6 or 7, but they tend to have their requests, especially for the new people on the video team. They get their kind of videos from the day previous approved sometime in the morning, and then that's when they get into my queue. So with Daily V now done, that's awesome. 162A and 166, so we're current all the way there. At this point though, Clintus's episode 1787 has been fully transcribed, and that's actually why I felt safe walking away from the computer. The line leveler and auto timers are running on it right now. And so that's kind of the play. I'll finish that up, and then I'll start to run some numbers. I have some ideas on like what it's gonna be. So with the pay that I'm taking down from the company right now, which ideally I would not want to draw down from as much as I have been if I end up picking up a job, but I think I'm going to need to. But if I just pick up pretty much any job, I think is where the numbers kind of come out. If it's like $12 an hour or higher and it's 40 hours a week, the 2 revenue streams combined will get me well above the financial requirement that I'll need in order to rent a place. That stated, the idea here is for me to potentially go corporate and get something that'll pay a lot more than $12 an hour. If I can get back into that 65 to 90 range, then that would really be ideal. It'll allow me to do a lot more things very quickly for the business. And I would even say in the next 6 months, right, pay off all the outstanding debts and begin to make some serious investments into customer acquisition strategies, which has been the one thing that I have been really bad at, because admittedly, while I'm a great corporate marketer, I am a crappy salesman, and those two skill sets are very different things. It's why I've built this business to not be reliant on sales like my previous businesses were, that ultimately failed, where this one is just kind of like somebody signs up and they continue to be a customer until they tell me they don't want to be a customer anymore, and that's worked really well for the last 20 months. All right, guys, currently 1900, and of course when I say that, you know what, hey, there's not going to be a ton more coming in from the VaynerMedia guys, it's not shocking that there always is. Came back here, finished 1787 from Clintus, got that all done, dusted, posted. While I was doing the post on that, though, 10 different shorties came through from the VaynerMedia guys. Was able to, because they were all stuff that was already in the When Was That Said search engine, literally be able to find the original source file, parse out just the clip that they had clipped, reformatted and sometimes repunctuated things, because when they edit stuff, sometimes they cut out like segments of a sentence. So when there's a comma, it all of a sudden now has to become a period, capitalize the next start of the sentence, that kind of stuff. Sometimes there's little things like that that have to be realigned, or speaker identification. So sometimes like Fat Joe is like taken out of a segment, and so instead of having Gary redeclared as the speaker on screen, you just got to remove that stuff. So all said and done, it was like 14 minutes worth of content, and because of the tools and everything else, I was able to get all 10 of those files completely done and dusted back to the team within 90 minutes. I'm going to do the vlog edit now, though, get that all taken care of, and while the upload's happening, I'm going to go meditate, get that done. I'll figure out the food stuff later, and in addition, I still have to do some more time on the treadmill desk. I'm just shy of 10,000 steps as we stand here right now, which means that I gotta walk for about an hour and a half in order to make up to my 15,000 steps. I've got an hour and a half long video that I need to finish, that 100-minute video, the BioGuard video, the final video in the queue. And so my expectation is that I will walk for that tonight as I work on it. All right, guys, it is 11:20 at this point, 23:20. Keeping with military time, because that's the way I prefer to run my life. But, you know, I bring it back and forth sometimes. It's pretty funny. That's stated 23:20 at this point. I have clocked an hour and 41 minutes on this. I broke for dinner, as we're calling it here, which was just a French bread pizza that I had in the freezer, because I still haven't gone grocery shopping. Like, I have almost nothing in the house. Like, I have to do that in the next 48 hours, because I know that very likely tomorrow I'm going to go do laundry, which means fast food on the way back. So I'm okay there for tomorrow. But an hour 41 minutes in on this talk, and unlike the other talk, the Damon John talk, which I couldn't use the 1.5x and have it work efficiently, this talk I have been able to. So at an hour 41 in, I am 58 minutes into this in a final review status, so I'm super pumped, like super pumped. Yes, I'm having to move things around a little bit more now, and so it slows me down, but my hope is within 2 hours I can be done. Additionally, because I've been on that treadmill desk and doing those steps, across 15,000 steps today as well. Right on time, 1 a.m., job done, board cleared. I am completely done with all outstanding work from all my clients, which I'm super pumped about. The 1.5x did continue to work, and I figured out a couple of other little tricks inside of that tool that I have such a love-hate relationship with, that allowed me to make corrections a lot faster. Now that I know that that exists, I think I can really begin to fly on these things. And the 1.5 worked perfectly. So that 100-minute talk, hour 37-minute talk, normally at real-time speed would have taken me 4 to 6 times runtime in order to do that. So you're looking at somewhere in the range of about 6 to 9 hours, if everything goes perfectly well. We'll call it on the low side 4 hours, kind of, if we're doing 1-to-1. With 1.5, I was able to complete the entire thing in 3 hours and 10 minutes. So that is a heck of an improvement on best case scenario. Now, granted, this one had some specialty bits and pieces to it on how we were going to do it. And now that I know how to do it better, well, obviously things get faster, especially on the split and recombine. So now, going forward, and especially with the price increase that should have gone into effect, we're looking at an opportunity for me to be able to use that extra cash solely on these long form keynotes. Even in the 45 minutes that I did in this one, I would not do that going forward. I'd break it into 7 or 8 minute chunks, send it all up, let the outsourced folks take care of it, recombine it on the back end, and get to work. So that's kind of the plan going forward, since I now have a little bit of extra resources in order to make all that happen. And especially with the training being completed next week, then I'll be able to create, I won't be responsible for shorties any longer. So I'll only be Daily V, Ask Gary V, and Keynotes, which is a brilliant situation. It makes my job a heck of a lot easier, and because these are all longer form pieces and because of their release schedules, it really does open up the opportunity for me to go get a job so that I can get out of this apartment. Mission A1 between here and my birthday is get the heck out of here. And if I've got to work, 90-hour weeks, well, I'm used to that because I'm going to be offloading somewhere between 30 and 40 hours worth of work regarding these shorties. And there's potential for me to cut a bunch of clients, especially if I get a good paying job. I would probably cut everyone at my lowest price tier, which is either $99 or $149, depending upon when they get in. It's something that I've communicated to them, that I basically don't make any money on their accounts. They're all aware of that. We're talking less than $25 per account per month. So if it comes to that, take those people off, and then I get down to kind of the core four, who are at that larger price point, including Gary and his team. And that is something that I can do nights and weekends, and quite honestly, be profitable on. Be very profitable on. So excited about that. And so that's kind of the idea if all this goes to that point. I'm not saying that it will. It may be one of these things where I sit there and I decide to finally really begin to pull the trigger on some Facebook ads while I'm applying for jobs and whatnot. And if I can sign a major client, kind of, not Gary style all the way that high, but like something in the, get 5 or 10 daily vloggers to convert, all of a sudden, I can stay in the business full time. I can, pay this health insurance premium, all that stuff kind of goes away. But this is going to be a super long episode because I know I've been talking my face off, and so I'll probably end up doing a bunch of editing on it. But I will say thank you guys so much for your time and your attention. As always, I appreciate them so much. And remember, you never stumble upon opportunity by standing still. So go do cool stuff. Bye for now.